This is a redirect video for Hunter x Hunter episode 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, and 65. A 7 episode reaction. Thanks to you guys for getting me to 5K. I wanted to kind of do something special all week long, not just for this episode, but all my shows will have a big, batch and stuff like that to them. So yeah, super thank you to you guys. Click on the link in the description below to go watch my reaction to the Hunter reaction episodes or whatever, and then come back here to see my full review of those episodes. They were all very, very cool. I enjoyed them thoroughly all the way through, so I really liked it a lot. So yeah, go watch them now, and then come back here to see my full thoughts on the episodes. Yeah, so click away now or be spoiled as to what happened in the episodes. Okay, so this arc is awesome. I really like it a lot. The thing is, the main thing is though. Okay, so basically, Gon's dad and his partner both helped create Greed Island. Many people think it's just a game where you're teleported into the game, console, whatever, and from there you kind of just play the game. But there's an underlying kind of thing there that's not really like a big deal, but it's kind of there, and I'm wondering how many people are going to exploit it. I know the Phantom Troop is, but the island itself, Grid Island, is a physical place, and everybody who enters the game through the game cartridges are teleported to that island in the physical world. So it's not technically, a virtual world. It's a legit world that they are teleported to. So all the NPCs, I'm guessing, are all just that. They're in-game characters. And all the cards and everything are real. They actually do things on the island, all that stuff. It seems like the partner, Gon's dad's partner, still works on the island, or say maybe maintains the island. So when the Phantom Troop came in on boat physically to the island, the partner stepped in and stopped them and sent them back, wherever. I think it said it scattered them around the whole area, and then destroyed the boat. So it seems like he's kind of the guardian of the island. So if anyone tries to break the rules and get there manually, he'll use his. I think it's his magic. I think he's he himself is the one who creates the cards, and so I think he used. Or creates cards to send them back, kind of thing, to get him off the island, that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm super stoked to see more about them and how they created and why they created the island. It seemed like at some point in the episode, it they mentioned Gon being really good at trading here, basically using time he's in the game, or in the game, on Grid Island. He's used to train himself, and he's getting really good at it, kind of thing. So it kind of brought to mind this scenario where I wonder if Gon's dad made the island specifically to train Gon, so that way he's a better fighter and a better just everything all around. So that way he's strong enough to actually go after his dad and find him out. His dad did say during a message that he sent Gon that they won't find clues there, or something like that, or they won't find much on the island pertaining to where his dad is, but he just wanted Gon to kind of see what he created and kind of enjoy the game for himself, kind of thing. So Gon and Killua kind of set off on their own, even when a group tried to, have them join their group, kind of thing, to kind of better beat the game, kind of thing. Gon and Killua both said no and decided to go off on their own, including one of the new characters that for the life of me, hold on. Talking to the High Elder try. Because I forgot her name. Okay, show him back. Bisky, there you go. Yeah, so Bisky is like a new character in the arc. She's helping Gon and Killua both like train their skills and everything. They are no, she is the master's master for Gon and Killua. So like the person who trained Gon and Killua back in the other arc when they were at the tower and they were doing the tower event kind of thing, going up the up tower and everything. They had a Nen user train them in the way of Nen and everything, and he I guess in a way he was also kind of like a hunter exam, employee kind of thing. So like he was just training them to pass the hunter exam like fully, because the stuff beyond the hunter exam kind of stuff. So he trained them, but Bisky, not Biska. Bisky is that Nen user's master, so the master's master. So that was pretty interesting. And at first I thought like oh she's just saying this to get at him and kind of thing. But she was the first one to describe the guy, their master, the original master. So it kind of stands to reason that she does indeed know him, and she knows a thing or two about him, kind of thing. So at that point, all my suspicions kind of went away, like immediately. But when she was saying stuff like that, I thought she was kind of pulling their leg, whatever like that. But yeah, it seems like she genuinely is the master's master. My nose is really itchy. So yeah, we had a lot of really cool moments with Gon and Killua training. At first, they were like just like headlong into danger. They wanted to fight monsters and fight bandits. They met bandits and they stole everything they had. And they met monsters, but they didn't get defeated by the monsters, but they didn't win either. They got like 1 or 2 monsters. I think they got. I'm trying to think if they got 1 monster by themselves without Bisky's help. I know they got the knight. The knight one was Bisky helping them. Trying to think if they had. I can't remember. I think they had like at least 1 or 2 that they defeated themselves. That was only because they. Oh, the Cyclops. I was right. They killed a lot of the Cyclops. So I'm assuming they got a lot of those cards. What else? They never got to defeat the furball, like the black furball ball thing, mouse thing that like jumped everywhere like instantly. They never got to defeat him until Bisky helped. Oh gosh, what else? The horse. They never got to defeat the horse either until Bisky helped him out later on. I think that's it. Cyclops, mouse, horse. I'm probably forgetting something. I bet I am. I bet I am forgetting something. But yeah. So they kind of were kind of like headlong, just charging into battle, not really thinking about their using them at all. And then Bisky came in to help him out, and I like the little game they do where whenever she points her finger like that, she's using like a little Nen like number, and they have to quickly use their Nen to do the eye thing to like look at the number and call it out immediately. And the last person to do it has to do push-ups, whatever. And then near the end, every time Bisky like was like trying to make a point to whatever that, you're like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Like she always did that like immediately, and then like that number popped up, but like they had to like quickly like instantly like tell it kind of thing. So no matter where they are in training, she's always doing it like just randomly. But to me it seems like natural, like she's going like this is what we're going to do kind of thing. But like whenever she does that, like they immediately just go right to the Nen state and like look at a number and then call it out. And then near the end they had a lot of ties. between Kilowatt and Gon. So that was a pretty funny game that they do, or training session, whatever. It's really awesome to see that Gon and Kilo were actually like getting their abilities, like unique abilities and everything. So like Gon's all about electricity, and it turns out that like since young age he's been like electrocuted, like tortured wise, since thanks to his family. Um, so I think that's why he's using electricity, because like he's used to it in a way, like in his body's like kind of gets used to electricity, so he can hone it and like you know use it kind of thing. It's really awesome to see that he can do that. I feel like though he did it a lot better when he was by himself in the room before the exam to be approved for Greed Island. He was in a room by himself and he was like testing the little things like he's like little tiny like electricity bolt coming through the fingers, and then later on he had like his fingers and like the ghost went out a little bit, and then skip ahead a little bit more and he got a little bit further, a little bit more further, and like he can kind of like branch it out kind of thing like an arc, and then at one point he did it and it was like just like this huge thing around him kind of thing, and I think he did something similar to the guy, or no, he used when he went up to the exam, he used the lightning and everything, but then he put it to the floor and he was using it through the floor, like the floor was like hitting the lightning kind of thing. So, but the thing is, like later on when he was showing Bisky and Gon about that ability, he only used it like a little bit or whatever, or he did a little. I think maybe he did with fingers or all his. I can't remember if he did like a little tiny thing, like little tiny lightning bolt, or like a hand thing. But he didn't do it at like that we've seen is full glory. So I'm interested to see why he's hiding it. Or maybe not hiding it, but like not doing like the full force kind of thing. I would have loved to see Gon go all out, but I love the way they did it in when he did his exam. So Gon's all about using all Nen tactics to hone in on one body part. So like all of their Nen tactics that they've all used throughout their journey so far, like their eyes, the strengthen, the hide, hide yourself kind of thing, all those tactics, everything, all focused simultaneously onto his fist, and he was able to like it was shown. I love that moment too because it was a Kilowatt inside like the finish area, like sitting down and waiting for him to get back. And then in the distance, like the whole room started shaking, and then like an explosion went off, and and then all of a sudden Gon walked in, and then like it cut to him like just like a hole in the wall kind of thing, or crumbling, whatever. A giant just big huge bit of the hole missing. We're not missing. It was just kind of like a hole in the wall, but it wasn't like a hole, so it was like an indent, I guess, in the wall. I don't know. Anyways, I would have loved to see like after that, like seeing like going like explain what he did, and like him just like go kind of thing, like One Punch Man kind of thing, like just like annihilate the wall. Um, but that's awesome to see them kind of train their abilities. So the thing that Gon did, the whole fist thing, was apparently something that everybody can do. So I'm actually wondering pretty hardcore if Gon is going to be the strongest at that. That's like his special ability, unique thing is to be better at that ability than more than anything, or is he going to adapt something else into his like routine, and he's gonna be good at that, like almost like Killer with a lightning kind of thing, but going more so in like maybe perception and strength and everything, because we've seen him use his Nen to like predict the movements of those little spring top things, but without anybody telling him. I guess someone hinted at it. I can't remember. But yeah, so it's gonna be pretty awesome to see what he can do with it later on. Um, it's awesome to see the growth of the characters too. Let of anime kind of hide it off screen, or in the case of like Fairy Tail and stuff, like Natsu just rushing through it kind of thing. But it's really cool to see an anime where like the main character you literally see his progress. Like you see like the beginning of his career, whatever his life, like the show, whatever, um, and then up to now, like what he's capable of. Like we've seen every step of the way, all the way through his training process and everything up until this point now that we're at, which is super super cool. We never got to see Killua. We never got to see like his kind of upbringing. We saw like a little bit of it, not very much. But he did talk about it sometimes, and we saw a little hint of that when he went back home. Um, but we can kind of glean from that, like he's kind of been training since like he was a little tiny kid, kind of thing. So, but yeah, I can't wait to see if we get to if we get to see Killua do the hunter exam, because that's what he's doing right now. So Killua went back to the normal world, to go compete in the hunter exam to become a hunter, which is awesome. With all the techniques that he now knows right now, thanks to Bisky and everything, he's gonna like just pass it like no problem. It's gonna be sweet. Um, I was thinking actually too. Their their what do you call them? Antique appraiser. There we go. Their antique appraiser guy said that he was going to go to the hunter exam so that way he can sell off the card for like a bunch of money. So I'm wondering if Killua is actually going to see him in the exam, and they're going to like, interact or whatever, or, like team up or whatever. But that's really funny. Like I just realized that. I was like, oh yeah, like near like the start, like I think 59 or 60. He said he was gonna go like because he was saying like the hunter card that he sold, uh or was it? I can't remember if he sold the card or he knows how much it was to buy back. Um, I'm not sure. But ultimately, it seems like Gon can buy his card back. And I don't know. Whenever I first heard that, I thought like he sold it and he can never get it back, kind of thing. Like he sold it, kind of thing. Like he gave it to somebody. He sold it for money. Um, but I was told in the comments as well as some things in the episode too as well. He can get it back. So that's good. Like I'm glad that he can get it back and not just like forfeit it, kind of thing. So. Otherwise, I would love to see Gon go back into the exam to do it again with Killua, and they're just like wrecking everybody all the way through. It would be a super 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 funny. But yeah, so I'm pumped to see what's gonna happen next. They have these new baddies called the Bombers. Three of them, who if they come up to you and touch you and say the keyword bomber, then wherever they touch you will have a bomb on it, and then if they activate it, which I think the activation was him explaining his Nen, and that activated the bombs, which that's a heck of an explanation. Like that's what I in a way I kind of like that. Like the only way to activate it is to talk about it or like explain what it is. So I'm interested to see how Gon and Killua and Bisky take care of that. Seeing how I don't know if they know who the bombers are. I know one guy that had the bomb on him is still alive. But I'm wondering if Bisky or Gon are even going to know where he is or interact with him for him to even tell who the bombers are. Because I'm sure that guy knows the three bombers and who they are and everything. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting to see what happens there. It seems like from what like the explanation was and everything, the main guy that did the exam for the rich dude, the one guy with the goatee and everything, seems like he was working for himself or like another group, and the group that the main group died, the bomber dudes, when they all died, it seems like they mentioned something like they're not like our partners. They're not friends with us, kind of thing. They're not friendly at all. So I'm wondering, like, what's that about? Like, the guy who was, hired, or I think hired, to weed out like the weaklings or whatever, is actually still like living in the world, living on the island, um, to try to pass kind of thing on his own, and does not care about the new people. So I'm interested to find out more about him, that kind of thing, what his motives are and why he's doing what he's doing. Um, Obviously, we don't know anything about him because we only had that one scene where they talked about his group, that like the opposite group or whatever, the opposing group, other players that they can steal cards from. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting to find out more about that and everything. The whole game is pretty interesting as well because like there's like 100 unique cards and you're supposed to fill all of them out, but then there's like 45 um, free slots where you can put extra cards, kind of thing. And I'm assuming like monster cards and stuff as well. Um, and they all have like a unique ability to them and everything, and they all basically like a trading card game. They all have like a special thing. So I'm assuming if you use a card that's in your 100 slots, you can only use it once, and then if you use it, it's gone, and you have to go find another one, kind of thing. So you typically do not want to use your super rare stuff. Though Bisky did grab, or I guess not grab, but find a super rare. Is it SS or is it S? I can't remember exactly. I think it's double S. It's that prison card. I can't remember if it's the rarest one, whatever like that. But yeah, I can't wait to see what that. It went by so too quickly for me to read the whole card for itself. But yeah, it could be pretty interesting to see what happens and everything like that. We haven't had like a full on card battle yet. We've only had like kind of training montages and that kind of thing, with Gon and Killua and Bisky and everything. So we haven't had like a full fledged, one hunter versus another hunter fighting each other, with the cards and everything. So I'm excited to see how that works out, and that kind of thing. I assume it might be over quickly. I don't see it being like a long term thing because it's kind of like kind of like rock paper scissors or any kind of strategy card game. Um, one card can cancel out another card, but if you run out of those cards, then if they have a card that can attack you and you have nothing to counter it, kind of thing, then you're going to get hit by it. So if a lot of people don't have a lot of cards, which I'm assuming they don't, the person with the most cards can have the most defense or the most attack plus defense, kind of thing. So the most cards wins in a way. They have the most opportunity to defend themselves and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens just at all. We have 9 episodes left of this arc, and then we move on to the next arc, which I'm not sure yet what the what the title is, which I'm okay with. So yeah, super pumped. Oh gosh, what else happened in these episodes? Yeah, I guess like Bisky being like a kid and officially being 45, maybe 45, something like 40s. I think it was 40s, 49, 40 something like that. So I'm wondering if that's Nen, like being used to, or was used to make her younger, that kind of thing. Oh yeah. Also, side note, Troy mentioned that the character at the very end of the movie that we watched last week, that I thought was one of like the main characters of the movie, not main characters, but like one of the characters in the movie, Reetz, Retz. I assumed it was her at the end of the movie. Turns out no, that was Bisky, and that was kind of like a kind of tease at like future stuff or whatever, or hinting at like that's kind of where they are in terms of story. So yeah, I'm interested to actually find out, like, from like, I would like to know from you guys as well, like, in terms of the movie. I know, like, part of it's canon, part of it's not canon, that kind of stuff. Which parts were canon, um, and how did they affect this arc? Like, don't like go into specifics like hardcore. Just like mention like you stuff in the movie that happened, and then how they translate to this arc kind of thing. Because at the beginning of this arc that we saw at the very beginning of the reaction, we had Gon and Killua sitting, or Gon, Killua, and Kurapika and Lirio all kind of sitting around with Kurapika on like on his deathbed, kind of, in a way. Not really deathbed, but I, for the life of me, cannot remember how the end of the movie. Dr. Brocken, sorry. For the life of me, I cannot remember what happened at the end of the movie. For some reason, I do not know why. Like, I know they all left, and Killua seemed fine. To my knowledge, he didn't seem like he was on his deathbed. Did the beginning of the movie start that? I can't remember now. Gosh, it's kind of annoying. I can't remember at all what happened to get, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm so bad at remembering. Anyways, I like to know from you guys, like, which part of the movie was canon and everything like that. It doesn't really matter in the long run because I already watched it, but I'd like to know why a lot of people hated it. Because, like, I got a lot of comments saying people, like, they were like, "Oh God, this movie," or like, like, "Why'd you watch it?" Or "I'll skip this week. I won't watch this with you," whatever that. All this, like, all this hatred towards the movie and everything. So I'm wondering why. I thought it was all right. I didn't like, I didn't hate it. It was all right. I liked it. But I guess hardcore fans and everything kind of can find stuff to hate on it. But yeah, I'd like to know what you guys thought about the movie and everything. But ultimately, leave a comment down below what you thought so far of the Greed Island arc, and how the how far we're in, up to 65. No further, no hints, no nothing about future content, or sorry, future content. Past 50 or 65. If there are spoilers, my moderators, High Elder Try, for example, will remove your comment if it has spoilers, and I will not read it. So if you want me to read your comment and you want me to talk, you want to talk with me in the comments below, don't spoil, don't hint at anything of anything future stuff. Just talk about the stuff that happened in these episodes and, past episodes that we've seen already. That kind of thing. I also, I want a quick note. I loved how when Killua went back to go to the hunter exam, we actually got to meet the dog people. I'm not sure what kind of like animals they are. They're the shapeshifter people. I loved how we got kind of like a callback to them kind of thing. We saw them all kind of huddled around, and Killua was like talking about like their journey so far, kind of thing. Really funny. So yeah. Let me know all down below what you guys saw these episodes, all that stuff like that. Like I said, no spoilers, no hinting, all that good stuff, and then I'll read the comment. I'll talk with you guys down below in the comments box section below. So sadly, next week we'll be going back to normal with 3 episodes of video kind of thing. So this week's gonna be very hectic for me, trying to keep up with like my 5K special kind of thing. After this, I'm probably going to immediately go and record some more anime throughout the week. So yeah, it's gonna be tough for me. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week for 3 episodes, 67, 68, and 69 next week, and all that good stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.